Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you into the Proverbs 356 podcast today. My name is Rick Asbury. Hope everybody's having a great day out there today. So, you've come along, and hopefully you'll get some good Bible teaching today from the book of Zechariah. We're in chapter number 12, starting at verse 1 today. We're going to try to go through verse 5. So, hope everybody's having a great day out there. Hope everybody can hear me. Amen. So when people come on, we'll see what happens. And I hope I'm right side up. So we'll find out on that deal. So, right. Anyway, today is Thursday, November the 20th. Had to look at the calendar. Thursday, November the 20th. A week from today will be Thanksgiving Day, but every day ought to be Thanksgiving, right? Amen. So, all right. Well, I'm going to start out with a song today. You'll probably guess who this is, but this is Preacher Joseph Porter singing, okay? So I hope you enjoy this song. If I can get it going here.
There came a sound from heaven, like a rushing mighty wind. It filled their hearts with singing, and gave them peace within. The prophet gave this promise: the Spirit will descend, and from your inner being, a river with no end. There is a river that flows from deep within. There is a fountain that frees the soul from sin. Come to this water. There is a vast supply. There is a river
Hello, David.
that
Just see you this
never
afternoon.
shall run dry.
If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or something.
Was a thirsty woman who was drawing from a well.
Right?
Her life was ruined and wasted. Her soul was bound for hell. Then she met the Master,
That's right.
who told her her great sin. And if you drink this water, you'll never thirst again.
Amen. Right.
There is a river that flows from deep within.
Yeah.
And there is a fountain that frees the soul from sin. Come to this water. There is a vast supply.
Right.
There is a river that never shall run dry.
That's right. Thank you, Preacher Porter. All right, David, how you doing today? Hope you're having a good day today. Can you hear me? Okay, evidently you can. People are giving hearts and stuff, so evidently you can hear me. Amen. So, I think I might have this thing figured out now. I think I might have it figured out. We'll see. Amen. Hello, Mr. Harry Moody. Good to see you this afternoon. Hope you're doing all right today. Right. So if you can hear me, say hello, or I can't hear you, or you're doing a good job or something. Yesterday I started off and nobody could hear me. And then I think it was Harry Moody. Turn the volume up. Is that what you're telling me? Let's see here. I think it might be all the way up already. Yep. All right, man. It's all the way up. Can you hear me now? I might have to put my microphone thing in. I didn't use it yesterday. I took it off. Let's see here. Hello, can you hear me now? Can't hear you good. I have a lot of things going on, yes. Can't hear me good. Huh. I'm still trying to figure this thing out, by the way. I might just have to go back using my phone and be done with it. I didn't have no problems on it. All right. I got everything up on my end. Can you hear me? You are okay. Very good. All right. We're in Zechariah today. We're starting verse number 12. Okay? We're starting chapter number 12. Sorry. I'll get it right in a minute. Zechariah, chapter number 12, starting at verse 1. Okay? He says in verse 1, the burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Okay? So we see some things in this. This burden here that is talking about, this burden is talking about or oracle you could use, or you could say burden, in prophetic literature. It signifies a weighty, solemn, and important prophecy that's coming up. All right? Well, as we go on in this chapter, it's a heavy message, one that is pressed upon people, and very pressing in the accomplishment of it. This is just getting started. So in this chapter, the message itself is described as a divine prediction. Okay, it was a prophecy. All right. Need to move on over here. And so for Israel, the prophecy is ultimately for the comfort and benefit of God's people. And that's talking about Israel / the church, all right? So if you're one of God's people, this is what it's talking about. Now, you could say it's probably talking more to the Jews, maybe. But as we see it go along, and you'll see that what's going on in our world today, all right? It's amazing. This is the Old Testament. And there's people out there that say, well, you got to just do the New Testament. We're not in the Old Testament. And but look, this is Old Testament prophecy, and it is going to be coming true. Okay, it's going to be coming to pass. People don't believe that, but it is. So even though this is a prophecy that's for the comfort and benefit of God's people, though it carries destruction for the enemies. In other words, people that never get saved. Okay? And you know what? All of us know somebody that's probably lost. Whether it's in our family, whether it's a co-worker, whatever it is. And we're supposed to be praying for them and showing them, okay, the way to get to heaven, and showing that they're lost and they need to be saved. So then we see the Creator God's authority and power here, because what does he say there? Which stretcheth forth the heavens. So this points to God's omnipotence and vast power demonstrated in the creation of the world and everything. He created everything, didn't he? People don't look at that. When I was in school, we got taught the Big Bang Theory. Okay, just had a Big Bang. Why is it if you do a Big Bang down here, it destroys stuff? Thank you, David. Why is it when, you set off dynamite and stuff down here, it destroys stuff, don't it? But yet they want you to believe that a Big Bang created stuff. That's just foolishness. Evolution is a theory, okay? Evolution is a theory, and that's all it is. They wasn't around when the world was created. And so it's just a theory. It's like they say that we grew from an amoeba, right? We grew legs, and then they want to say that we grew from an amoeba that turned into an ape, that turned into a person. Okay, the question is, if we came from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? Anyway, but we see his power in what he created. He is the one who spread out the heavens to such a vast extent and maintains them stretched out like a curtain, demonstrating his active, present power. The act shows that no bounds can be set to his power, nor can anything be too hard for him. I saw something in here a minute ago. I went, that's pretty good. But he says he maintains them. That's the thing, maintains them. So all this stuff that's around us, the sky, the birds, the stars, the moon, the planets, all this stuff, and I know what it was now. Now just look what and layeth the foundation of the earth. It refers to God's act of founding and keeping the earth firm and fixed by his sovereign law, even though it appears to rest on nothing. So the earth, he hung up the earth, right? He hung up the moon. If you look, it's just sitting there, right? Nothing's holding it up. God's power is, but you get what I'm saying? It's just, it appears to rest on nothing. And then it spins on its axles. Okay? And so I don't know, I can't remember how fast I was trying to, we're constantly spinning. Now we know it takes a whole day 24 hours to go around one revolution, right? So we are moving, and here's the thing. If we didn't have gravity, we'd be flung off this thing. But we got gravity, and God knew that we was going to need gravity. He says, "And formeth the spirit of man within him," signifies God's immediate and continual creative power over human life, particularly the soul or spirit. Think about this. Really, this is good. Listen to this. He is not just the creator of the vast universe, but also the intimate creator of the emanating force known as our spirit within us. We see the word formeth here. It means that God creates the spirit within the man at when? Conception. Okay? As opposed to simply placing as opposed to simply placing a pre-existing spirit into the body. See, everybody wants to say, well, a baby in the womb is not a baby. Here's the thing. At conception, we're a human being. Okay? Now, these Democrats and these people that believe that abortion is not killing, these people that believe that abortion is not murder, they are severely wrong. It's killing. And you know what I don't understand? That they'll protect some kind of spotted owl or, some tree or some flower, something, but yet they'll kill a baby. It makes no sense, does it? Hello, parts of the picture, Mr. Martin. Good to see you this afternoon. Hope you're doing okay. And you did good last night in your the Forge Bible study. So we'll be praying as you go forward. Okay. Here in around Shelby, North Carolina, they already had a bypass, but then it grew up and it's not a bypass anymore. So they had to build a bypass around the bypass, right? And so they drew up the route that they wanted it, and so they started scoping it up. They found an endangered flower, or endangered plant, whatever it was. Yeah, that's right, David. Murder is what it is, yep. So they found an endangered flower, plant, whatever it was. So they had to redo the route. And I think they redid the route and they come some other endangered something. But it took them, I don't know how long, it took many years to come up with the right route and nothing interfered in it. And so they got 2 legs of it done. They got 1 more leg to do, and it's supposed to be done in 2030. Then the whole thing will be done. So, but endangered stuff, it boggles the mind that they'll kill a baby but save an animal. Now, I'm not for killing animals, all right, just to be killing an animal. Now, I know there's deer hunters and whatever. That's fine. God put these animals on this planet to eat, all right? You can eat whatever animal you want. You really can, if you want to. Now, we as Gentiles, we don't have no dietary restrictions. We can eat whatever animal we want, okay? I eat a lot of chicken, by the way. I love chicken. But anyway, but that spirit, our soul and spirit, At the moment of conception, we have it, okay? We don't have to wait later to get it, okay? We already have it. So then we get into verses 2. I'm going to try to cover these verses 2 through 5. Chapter 12 of Zechariah. Look at verses 2 through 5. He says, Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness, and I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, The inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts, their God. Okay? So we see in verses 2 through 5, he says there a cup. I'm just going to get this so I can sit back a little bit here. He says a cup of trembling. All right? So we see this verse, it says, Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling and all the people round about. So when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. So we see the cup metaphor here. We see that the enemies will attack Jerusalem, believing they will easily conquer it. As easy as drinking a cup of wine. They're sorely mistaken, aren't they? Instead, God will make the cup they drink a cup of trembling or drunkenness, signifying God's judgment or wrath, which will cause them to stagger, reel, and fall into confusion and ruin, just like a drunken man. Have you ever seen a person that was drunk? Well, they just stumble around and slur their words and do all these things, and some of them just pass out after a while. That's what this is going to be to these enemies of Jerusalem. It will be to them a cup of poison or stupor, bringing terror and self-destruction. You can't mess with God's people, okay? I don't care who you are. You can't mess with God's people. He's looking out. Even though those people over there in Jerusalem, right now, they're still looking for the Messiah. But guess what? He loves them people. They're his chosen people. Excuse me, and he's not going to let anything happen to them. He's not going to let them be wiped off the face of the earth. He's just not going to do that. Target of the siege, the prophecy specifies that the siege will be directed against both Judah, the land / country, and Jerusalem, the capital city, indicating a widespread conflict involving all of God's people. What could that be? He goes on to say in verse 3 there, as a burdensome stone. So the stone metaphor, this image is likened to a heavy stone used in contest of strength, where anyone who tries to heave it up and remove it will be crushed or cut in pieces by its weight, falling back upon them. Have you ever been watching these strongmen competitions? And I don't know, I mean, these some strong men, all right? And I wish I just had just a little bit of their strength, amen. But they lift these things that you look and say, there ain't no way somebody can lift that. My pastor at church, when we're going to have like a Christmas program or vacation Bible school, whatever it is, and we have to move the podium. Now this podium is not light, okay? He don't go in there and try to get everything out of it, and, because we have underneath it, we got a little drawer, a little door that, you can put stuff in there. Anyway, he just picks the whole thing up and says, where you want it. And my pastor's a strong individual, all right? I sure wouldn't want him to hit me. And I love my pastor, and if he hit me, it wouldn't be from being bad or nothing. So he wouldn't mean to hit me, but I'd be done if he did. But that's what's going to happen to these enemies. They're gonna mess with this rock, so to speak, and it's going to crush them. Now, who's that rock? Jesus Christ. Amen. Irremovable obstacle. The gathering of all the people of the earth emphasizes the immense universal nature of the final opposition. However, God makes Jerusalem as an immovable object. Those who seek to destroy or remove God's church, that would be Jerusalem, in its spiritual sense there, will only bring disaster upon themselves. Look at the people that's come against Jerusalem. What's happened? Okay, we saw here about a year ago, they had that 12-day war. And, here's the thing. When you go against God's people, you're going against God. And he don't like it when you're messing with his people. And I'm talking about Jerusalem, but I'm talking about church people as well. All right? If you're saved, you're one of his people, and he loves you, and he don't want nothing to happen to you. He really does. He doesn't want anything to happen to you. And he loves you more than you'll ever be able to comprehend. Okay? He don't like it when you're sick. He don't want you to be sick. He wants you to be well. Now he knows that this body, what happens in this body, he knows that, because he lived in a body, right? And so he knows the pain. He knows all these things. And so he doesn't want us to hurt. And, but he knows that the body deteriorates. He made it that way. He created our bodies to disintegrate, right? Because we start, when the day we come out, the moment we come out of the womb, we start dying. So, you got these dead skin cells that die every day, and new ones come up, right? And so, but he doesn't want anything to happen to any of us. He loves us. Let me turn this fan on. I hear my wife coming in. She was going with her sister. So this is also connected to the stone cut out of the mountain without hands that breaks the image in Daniel 2. Okay? So if you go back and read Daniel 2, you'll see what he's talking about there. So then in verse 4, we see divine intervention in battle. So he says, in that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness, and I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. So we see the Lord's action here. God promises a supernatural intervention on the battlefield. You know, you can go back and you can probably talk to World War II, Desert Storm, um, uh, probably Afghanistan, whichever, and I'm sure there's probably men who has something miraculous happen to them in battle, or they seen something miraculous to happen to a man that was a Christian or a woman who was a Christian, and they were out in battle. God takes care of his people, okay? No matter what. He will directly cause the enemy's military strength, represented by horses and riders, to become useless. He will. So we see the enemy's confusion. The enemy will be struck with astonishment. That would be confusion or panic, okay? And madness, destroying their organization and strategy. You can go back and remember Gideon. If you go back and read the story about Gideon, and God tells him to take these men, and it starts out like 31,000 or 30, however many thousand it was, but it was 30 so many thousand men, and he whittled them down to 300. And he told Gideon, he said, well, go down to the camp of the Syrians, or whoever it was, go down to the camp. And he went down to the camp, and he overheard the men talking about a dream they had. And he said, well, he's talking about, this will come and destroy our tent. And so that man told the other man, well, that's nothing but Gideon, right? But it was the Lord, wasn't it? The Lord's going to fight for you. He don't want nobody to hurt you. And that's what it's talking about there. He took out 185,000 men that night. He did. And then David and his men, remember he told them, not David, Gideon and his men. He was 300, 100 over here, 100 over here, 100 over here. Right? And they had a picture. And so all of a sudden they broke that picture, and at one time, now think about it, so that would have sounded like those people were surrounded. And they started running. And then they saw all these torches. They said, oh man, there's all kind of the Israeli people, and they're everywhere. And so they started running, and anyway, they got killed. He's going to take care of us, and he's going to destroy their organization and strategy. He's going to just take it out of the water. Their horses will be struck with blindness. Well, this ensures their defeat by removing their capacity to fight effectively. If a horse can't see, what's he going to do? He's probably going to stop and not do nothing, right? Protection for Judah. So in contrast, the Lord will open his eyes upon the house of Judah, meaning he will watch over and protect his own people while confusing their adversaries. He'll do it every time to take care of his people. Confuse them. Think about it. There's a lot of confused people in the world today. Look around. You tell me there's not confused people in the world today. You got these furries that run around. Those people are confused. Okay? You got these people that think they can be men, or men that think they can be women. They're confused. The devil's got them confused. All right? Because that's not normal. All right? Back in my day, when I was a kid growing up, if there was a man that was wearing women's clothing, he wouldn't come out in public and do it in public. It had to be in private, or had to be around people that were accepting to that kind of thing. Because back in my day, it's sad to say, but back in my day, you know what? They want to be called queers now. They want to be called queer. You couldn't call them that back in my day. But anyway, they would. They would, if they come out like that, or if a man would to go and ask another man out, he'd probably just about be killed. He'd be beat up really bad. I think a lot of in the army and in the service back in that day, there was don't ask, don't tell when Obama was in office. And you know what? When it said that these men got killed with friendly fire, I just wonder if some of them wasn't queer, and they got killed for it. I don't know what y'all think about that, but you tell me what you think. If I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong. I don't mind to be told I'm wrong. So then we see the last thing in verse 5, Judah's new confidence. So that verse states, and the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts their God. So we see a shift in perspective here. The governors or leaders of Judah, which would be the country there, will realize that their strength does not come from their own numbers or power, but from the inhabitants of Jerusalem who have the Lord of hosts, their God, dwelling with them. Right? So reliance on God's presence. This is the last thing. So this marks a profound internal conviction here. An acknowledgement that the strength and defense of the entire nation ultimately rest upon God's special presence and protection in Jerusalem. So Jerusalem, which often symbolizes the church or Christ's kingdom in a sense there, right? The previously stronger rural area, Judah, will look to the city Jerusalem as the source of power, but only as the instrument of God's power. So they're saying, hey man, we got Jerusalem, they got the power with them. Right? They got the power with them. Because God was looking out for them. So anyway, he's still looking out for us today. So I hope you got something out of this today. We'll pick it back up there tomorrow with verse number 6. All right? And anyway, like I said, I hope you got something out of this today. And if you enjoyed it, just share the message. Amen. So, remember Bill Jones? I toppled myself over. Remember preacher Bill Jones? Stage 4 bladder cancer. He needs a lot of prayer. Cindy Angel. And I could go through all these names. David Cordell, he needs a lot of prayer. Martin Pitcher. Parson Pitcher, Mr. Martin says, great lesson, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. My wife, my sister-in-laws, my pastor's grandmother fell and broke her wrist. Be much prayer for her. Just so much, man. Pray for you, pastor. Amen. Anyway. All right. Well, Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. So until then, may God bless you.